Ladies and gentlemen, that was the district medical officer, and we say good evening to our panelists this evening, who was trying to make an attempt to discredit this person who has complained. It was his form of protest, because every time the wife says 50 rupees, 100 rupees, the ward boys charge us to even get us a wheelchair. So the district medical officer says he came in on a tricycle. He himself, I hope you heard it, he himself said, when I walked in with a tricycle, there were people who came rushing to me, took away the tricycle from me and gave me a wheelchair. He says that, but look at the effort immediately. They are saying they have constituted an inquiry panel which will take 2 or 3 days. But the district medical officer already has the narrative ready. They have the narrative ready to discredit him as an alcoholic, to say that he has got withdrawal syndromes and that he came to the doctor on the first floor in a wheelchair. But did that DMO bother to walk up to this family, speak to the wife and see what they have undergone over the last 5 months? Now, have a look at this before we dive into the debate. I hope you have your channel, you have the channel and you can watch what is, this is the official website of the Gandhi Medical College, Hyderabad. Now, there is the first passage itself, the first paragraph itself that we want to highlight for you. It says that presently it's a premier institution. It's Secunderabad, also surrounding districts meeting most of, and as we move on forward, most of the demands of VIPs and bureaucrats of Andhra Pradesh. We come back to this, see, VIPs, bureaucrats and ministers of the government of Andhra Pradesh, now government of Telangana. So this is what is priority for the Gandhi Medical College, Hyderabad, to meet the demands of the VIPs and bureaucrats. They spelled bureaucrats wrong there. We'll ignore that, but look at the context. And we are also given to understand Madhu Gaudiyaski. Good evening. Ijaz Ilmi, good evening. Bhanu Prasad, MLC of the Telangana Rashtra Samiti, with us, good evening. Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, Adwaita Kala and Rajiv Rajaram. Now we are given to understand, Madhu Gaudiyaski, that when Times Now put this story out, when our reporter Paul Umman reached the Gandhi Medical College, in front of him, they started lining up the stretchers and the wheelchairs for public view and for access for everybody. That's the reality of this hospital and the state of affairs in government hospitals in Telangana today. Madhu Gaudiyaski.
It's such a shocking and also to brazen reaction by the government. Your Times Now also carried on 14th March, if I request your cameraman to focus on it, on 14th March in Chest Hospital in Hyderabad, a patient died because the ward boy and the nurse demanded 150 rupees to put in oxygen, and they refused because these poor people, they don't have 150 rupees. 2 months back, the biggest children hospital in Hyderabad, Newshour Hospital, 8 children died because of lack of baby warmers, and the government suspended the superintendent of the hospital. In the same Gandhi hospital, Anand, few months back, about 12 patients died, lack of other facilities, oxygen not availability, neither MRI or other things are available. In Osmania Hospital, the other biggest hospital, where this Gandhi and Osmania average 2,000 patients come to the outpatient. Osmania General Hospital, lack of generator, power cut,
there was a power
outage
and a power cut. Yes, Mr. Madhu Gaudiyaski, you're right. A power outage that went on for 4 hours and there was no backup, and that is the state of hospitals. Mr. Bhanu Prasad,
the Chief Minister spending 241 crores for publicity of his programs.
As
you mentioned, bulletproof bathrooms to crores of rupees which they have spent for
Please wait on a minute. I want to take your point that you've made to the TRS spokesperson. Mr. Bhanu Prasad, is this the first time such an incident has come to light? Is this the first time your administration, that medical officer who was sitting there, your government has been made aware of what is going on in these hospitals? Because I can give you countless examples, sir. Not just of Gandhi College or Gandhi Hospital, but of the other premier government hospitals in Hyderabad. Is this the first time you have heard of it?
Pardon?
Is this the first time you have heard of a corruption charge that the ward boys in government hospitals demand basic money, 50 rupees, 100 rupees, 150 rupees for oxygen cylinders, for treatment by doctors, for just meeting the doctor, for wheelchairs? Is this the first time you've heard of it?
No. It is not that. The government has already provided in last 2 years when we took charge, as our Mr. KCR has taken charge as Chief Minister, we are continuously improving the condition of the hospitals of this
Is this the first time you've heard of the corruption charge, sir? Is the question. Is this the first time you've heard of the corruption charge? Is this the first time you've heard of the apathy that goes on in government hospitals?
No.
We are not saying they don't have enough wheelchairs. Mr. Bhanuprasad, please understand what the point is. We are not saying there aren't enough wheelchairs, sir. We are not even saying there are not enough oxygen cylinders. We are saying it is not being provided to people.
As far as the corruption is concerned, as far as the corruption is concerned, my colleague Mr. Madhu Yashki is saying about the corruption charges, but these corruption charges are maintained and are encouraged by the previous governments since last.
Mr. Bhanu Prasad, have some human feelings.
Governments which have
this is not my story. All the media has reported in chest hospital a patient died because of 150 rupees demand by the ward boy.
In last 3 years, we have not faced a single corruption. We have not faced a single corruption charge on our ministers or on our MLAs or on our government. We have not faced any charges on our government.
Mr. Bhanu Prasad,
though there is,
my friend, have some human feelings.
Charges on the lower level staff.
Be human.
We are slowly changing the situation which was prevailed.
Don't
Mr. Bhanu Prasad. Mr. Bhanu
We have
Prasad.
changed the conditions.
Mr. Bhanu Prasad. First of all, I thank you and I commend you that you've had at least the gumption to come up and take these questions on the Newshour tonight, because most of the netas invariably will duck these charges. Secondly, let's not look away from the reality. The reality is that there is a problem, and this has been highlighted time and again even after your government has taken charge. Be it erstwhile Andhra Pradesh, now Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. This is the situation in Hyderabad and you are responsible, sir, because when you juxtapose the amount of money Mr. KCR is doling out in temples, in his bulletproof cars and vans and whatever the lavish spending which is happening, we will put the comparison, Mr. Bhanu Prasad. I'm just saying, for 100, sir, it hurts because a painter by profession,
let us talk about that issue.
A painter by profession, please tell me this, sir, why is it that there are how many doctors are present in these government hospitals after 2 p.m. in the afternoon? How many of these people, how many of these hospitals are virtually run by the ward boys and the matrons who charge anywhere between 20 rupees to 200 rupees depending upon what is there in the pocket of the patient arriving there? What have you done about that, Mr. Bhanu Prasad?
Mr. Raju was admitted in Gandhi Hospital on 26th of August 2016.
My question to Mr. Bhanu Prasad.
Yes, Madhu, please wait a minute. Let him answer.
May I put a question to Mr. Bhanu Prasad, the Honorable MLC?
Let him answer this. Yes, your question will also be then put to him. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
So, he was admitted on August 26th of 2016, and he was treated for 2 months. And he has been, the government has spent lakhs of rupees on his treatment.
Sir,
will you please try and take...
And after proper treatment...
Sir, can you... Don't make these... Don't make... Mr. Bhanu Prasad, please don't make these wafting comments and just pass it on as saying government has spent lakhs of rupees on... If they have spent lakhs of rupees, why is he on a toy tricycle? Why is he saying that वो लोग आ रहे हैं, जा रहे हैं, 5 महीने से मैं भी आ रहा हूँ, जा रहा हूँ, कुछ हुआ नहीं है. मेरा इलाज करो. No, which man will turn around and tell the national television and which person and his wife will turn around and say 50 रुपया 100 रुपया के लिए wheelchair नहीं देते. 5 महीने से आ रहा हूँ जा रहा हूँ. Who do I believe, sir? You are saying we've spent 2 months, we spent lakhs.
The condition of the patient
sir,
is not
please
stable.
do not discredit the plight of Raju, because sir, that man sitting in a toy tricycle is
let us ask the patients of the hospital.
That man sitting on that toy tricycle in the
let us
Gandhi
ask the
hospital
patients of the
represents the
hospital.
plight
What
of
was
the
the
Aam
condition
Aadmi
of
in
the
the government
hospital about 2.5
hospitals,
years back?
represents the
What is the
plight of
condition
the
of the
poor.
hospital today?
Your
How it was
own,
improved?
sir, the hospital
We cannot
website
we
says
cannot
that we are more equipped to cater to VVIP and ministers and bureaucrats rather than saying what they can, what facilities they can provide to the poor, Mr. Banu Prasad. So let's get some perspective here. Let's get some perspective here and understand what your priorities are. Madhu Gaudiyaski, one final intervention before we move on and bring in our other panelists. Madhu Gaudiyaski.
Subodh attended this particular
Banu
patient.
Prasad,
Mr. Banu Prasad, please listen to me 1 minute. Kindly have some human feelings. You've been talking about you're in power for 2.5 years and you boasting about what you have improved. In the latest budget 2017 and 18, zero allocation for Gandhi and Usmania hospitals. The entire Hyderabad hospital, 69 crores you have spent it, allocated it. And is it not true? Few months back, you suspended superintendent of the Newshour hospital.
Yes.
Please listen to me. It's
for
not
medical and health
politics. You
department.
should have some human feelings. You have suspended the hospital superintendent for lack of baby warmers, where 8 children have died. And your own MP, your party chief minister's son visited there. Is it not true? 14th March, Chest Hospital, for lack of 150 rupees, a patient died. What have you done it? Isn't not a shame to build a bulletproof bathrooms? And
I do agree about the Gandhi hospital. What you
not allocated a single penny in 2017.
Okay, so let's pick up on that point. All right.
Because of
Don't you have
Yes,
human
Madhu
feelings?
Gaudiyaski, 1
Being a
minute,
public
please.
representative.
Let's pick up on that point. He agrees it's happened. There have been incidences in the past. He's accepting that. I agree with you. You have almost 4,900 crores.
We have tried changing
Budgeted,
the situation.
sir.
In
Budgeted,
the process
sir.
of changing the situation, we have taken action against the superintendent of the hospital.
Yeah.
So please explain to me tonight what has gone wrong.
In the process
Because
of changing
earlier in the day,
situation,
Banu Prasad,
we
we
have
spoke
taken
to you.
action.
And you
In the
said your
previous government,
sympathies are with
never
this
they have
man.
taken-
So
they have
please
never
listen to
taken
my
any action
question.
against
Mr.
anybody.
Banu Prasad, please listen to my question. Earlier in the day, I spoke with you. In the afternoon, you told me your sympathies are with this man. This should not have happened. And you assured us action, sir. You assured me a proper, unbiased inquiry and that there will be action. You also told us and our viewers in the afternoon that your government will look into how to ensure this apathy goes away from the system, sir. But look what is happening now. There is a district medical officer who's come out
Even now
and every
even now
word
I'm
of that
reiterating.
bite that we
Even
played
now I'm
out right now,
reiterating that
Banu Prasad,
our government is
was
for
to
the-
discredit
Our
what
government
this
is
man is
totally-
telling, was to discredit his story,
government
and that
is
is
totally
not
for the people,
acceptable. It is not
the
acceptable,
people,
sir.
and we
When you
want
know
to-
things
we
are
want
wrong
to
in Gandhi
change the
Hospital, when in the past there has
administration
been
of
a
this hospital.
suspension, then how is it that the administration can be in denial of it today? I am going to go across to our other panelists and bring them in. And Advaita Kala, one wonders.
Let me explain you. Let me explain you.
Sir, 1 minute. Let me bring in the other panelists, because this theory that your administration is trying to push right now is very, very disappointing, and it goes against what you told us, Banu Prasad. So I want to ask our other panelists tonight. Advaita Kala, one wonders, if they have all of these excuses that everything was ready, he was given a wheelchair every time, there is no allegation of bribery or corruption, nobody ever asked him to pay money for it, we are ready to give him full treatment, we spent lakhs on him, he went against our will, he is a recovering alcoholic, he has alcohol withdrawal symptoms, everything goes against this man in their defense. One wonders, what did they think when they saw him in the tricycle pushing, trying to get to the treatment room, Advaita? It looks like nothing worked. They didn't feel anything. No apathy, just like the hospitals and the staff. No apathy in our netas, Advaita Kala.
Not at all. I think if you look at the defense that has been offered so far by Mr. Prasad, the only defense seems to be
Mr. Banu Prasad, please hear the other panelists out. Please hear the other panelists out. The fact is, sir, 8 children died the other day. Madhu Yaski spoke about it, and what you said is we suspended the superintendent. So 8 lives, 8 babies lost, 8 families devastated, and all you do is one suspension. So let's try and understand the seriousness with which you are taking this entire matter. Let's also go ahead and understand what the other panelists are feeling and what this country is feeling tonight. Please hang on, Mr. Banu Prasad. Hold on, listen to the others now, please. Advaita Kala. And then we'll go across to Dr. Bagay. Yes, Advaita.
The only defense that the gentleman seems to offer is that the previous dispensation was corrupt and we're sort of dealing with the leftover corruption of that. But that is certainly not the case. They've been in office long enough. I think they need to start right from scratch, possibly. I mean, start with the service promise of this hospital. The fact that it says that it caters to VIPs. I think that needs to change. Till you don't change that, how are you going to translate that down, lower down the wire? And let's be honest here. I mean, the things that we hear, you know, the bulletproof bathrooms, the huge donations in gold to temples. I mean, these kind of things are appalling when you juxtapose them against this kind of apathy on the ground, where people have to use a tricycle to get across to a doctor. And what I find even more appalling was that press conference clip that you just showed,
yes,
where they actually try and blame the man for being an alcoholic of sorts. I'm sorry, you're in hospital. If you were evolved, if you were doctors, you would realize that alcoholism is a disease which needs to be addressed as much as the other ailments that he brings with him.
And he's not doing this in an act of drunken stupor. His wife is walking beside him. It's a matter of protest, and this person and that image has to stand as a beacon, not just for the apathy shown in hospitals in Hyderabad, but across the country today, Dr. Bagai. This is the state of affairs in every single hospital, government hospital.
Yeah, thanks. How can he come out with a tricycle there?
Yeah, how can he come out? But how can you charge? How can the ward boys there charge 100 rupees for a wheelchair, sir?
He gets a
Why aren't you angry about that?
He gets a toy cycle, sir, because he cannot pay 150 rupees every time he comes to the hospital to the ward boy, just so that he can get a wheelchair to meet the doctor. So please don't ask that question tonight. Yes, doctor, go ahead.
Dr. Bagai, yes, please. Mr. Bhanu Prasad, please wait. Yes, Dr. Bagai.
Yeah, hi. I'm actually I was reasonably shocked to begin with, but hearing the conversation and some points built up by the local people are even more shocking. I think healthcare delivery system has to be without bias. You cannot have a category or discrimination either on the website or in your behavior patterns to treat any patient, be it of any caste, color, creed, or of any socioeconomic strata. No hospital is doing a favor by spending lakhs of rupees, and I am firmly against the view of defying patient confidentiality in mentioning a patient's disease and trying to discredit the visibility of the patient when the patient comes in. But having said that, I think why reach a stage in which this kind of apathy really comes in? Just a mere suspension and things like that is not enough. Why reach a stage in which 8 warmers are either not there or they are not working? So obviously our monitoring system within that hospital is not quite accurate. I think very clearly whoever has given the license for the hospital or is renewing it also needs to be pulled up. My overall take on this is, if there is any healthcare service provider within the hospital asking for a bribe, that person has to leave. And the healthcare administration is responsible. I have no problem if we try our best and we can't actually revive a patient. But I think what is important is that we need to put in our best. Please do not discuss the patient's medical conditions, because I think it's against the patient's rights.
This is the DMO, Dr. Bagai, who's done it.
What we are doing is not a favor or an obligation, it is our duty.
Dr. Bagai, this is the DMO who's done it.
Whatever we are doing, it is a moral right. It is. I think the Medical Council of India is also listening to this, and I think the government is listening to this. I think it's important to respect patients' rights and take corrective actions. I'm disappointed to hear to say after 2.5 years it was the previous government or this government or that government. I think healthcare is apolitical. Healthcare is dynamic. What we need to do on the ground. We need to do it now. And really these are doable things. And if we are talking of India being a real powerful, developed nation in the near future, I think these are irritants which we have to get across.
No, and Dr. Bagai, what also stands out is
we need to take patients' healthcare into serious concern.
True, Dr. Bagai, and I want to highlight this. We want to take this point to highlight this. Our research team, when they were going into the depths of the story, and they've pulled out a lot of figures, but what stood out was what the website itself claims. The website, the Gandhi Medical College website, has a separate paragraph highlighting how it is equipped to handle VIPs, bureaucrats and ministers. That is their focus.
That was
the focus.
I would have been very happy I would have been very happy to hear.
State of Andhra Pradesh.
No. So you have not changed
Let me
it?
complete, please.
Don't say erstwhile state of Andhra
Can I
Pradesh.
just complete this last line?
Yes.
I would have been...
Yes, Doctor.
I would have been very happy to hear if they had mentioned that they have, let's say, 10 state-of-art operation theatres, or let's say 20 dialysis machines which can treat chronic kidney disease. I would have been very happy to say that they have so many amount of critical care beds or a particular new procedure to save human lives. Let us not please put in print discrimination, because it's against the fabric of our education system. After 30 years of studying, this is the last thing we want to read on any website.
Absolutely. No, but Dr. Bagai, we are far away from that idealist state of affairs that should be in a government hospital. The reality is, even if you want to give credit to the KCR government to say, okay, at least in these XYZ hospitals, you've ensured that there are enough wheelchair stretchers and oxygen cylinders. The unfortunate part is they're not being used. They're only being given to people who can pay for it. It's called commission. There is an official word for it. That bribe is called commission, and until you pay a commission of 100 rupees or 150 rupees, there are reports now that have emerged, Dr. Ejaz, that speak about a 25-year-old young man who died in Hyderabad in another government hospital because his family could not pay that bribe for oxygen. Is that what we have come down to now?
You know, this is really a travesty of truth and such criminal negligence.
Is that question to me?
And apathy is unheard of and should really be condemned by one and all. Beyond humanity, one has to understand that under the criminal jurisprudence principle of res ipsa loquitur, the entire administration is responsible for this mess.
Dr. Ilmi, this is the reality, sir. This is the reality.
You can't appropriate temples.
I'm coming to you half an hour into the debate. And also, I have not even gone across to Rajiv. Thank you for your patience. But this is the reality, sir, not only in Telangana. So let's not just say Telangana administration. Every state government, every government hospital, this is the scenario.
No, I haven't said that.
Now recent. Now look at Mirzapur. Hospital, a woman dies, a woman child dies, they die. This happened on the 9th of September 2016. Kanpur, a boy dies due to civic apathy, 30th of August. Tumkur, Karnataka, man carries a daughter's body on a bike. This is the reality. Patient had to be transferred in a cart. They had to use a cart to move from one wing to the other because stretchers were not given, people were not there. These are the realities of government hospitals across our country. Bhopal, no doctor to attend, 9-year-old's arm is fractured, doctor is not available. Reality, sir, every government hospital, the doctors are off at 2:30 for their private practices. And it's the ward boys who are doing sutures. It's the ward boys who are performing procedures. I'm playing out the visuals as you speak, Dr. Ejaz Ilmi. This is the reality of our government hospitals across the country.
Yeah, so Anand, it's obvious something's extremely rotten in every government situation in various states. But this in Telangana, where you try and appropriate your lords at the temples, where you have to appropriate and you get the votes of the people, and then you only are concerned about yourself and your staying power. And Gandhi Medical College and Hospital is a premier postgraduate institution established over 56 years ago. So something like this coming out where people have to pay a bribe, the entire administration is in book. For a minister, the head minister and the chief minister, you can't afford something like this.
This is the state of affairs across the country, sir.
Unless you fix accountability.
Sir, Hyderabad and this person in a tricycle in the SN Medical College on the 16th of September 2015, patients being carried on a cart. These are all beacons or the highlight the apathy of the administration towards patients, towards the poor who need medical care.
Please sack the health minister of this state.
Sir, priority is given to netas because you want to highlight you are equipped to handle VIPs and bureaucrats. How good are you with the common man? Nobody bothers. That's the reality.
Well, absolutely. Well, if it happens across, but in this case, when you're talking about Telangana, sack the health minister, ask your spokesperson to call up KCR on your show.
Sir, 8 babies die, they suspend the superintendent.
Show action.
Sir, 8 babies die, they suspend the superintendent.
That's what matters.
One man comes in a tricycle, they discredit him. Rajiv, that's the state of affairs.
No.
In a short while, we've thrown open the phone lines. We'll bring in our viewers. Let's see what Hyderabad has to say. Let's see what India has to say today. Let's see what is the answer that India wants and demands. But first, Rajiv, make your point. What do you see when this is happening? This happens all over, even in Chennai. This is a state of affairs. Every government hospital. You don't want to step into it.
This happens. Anand, this happens all over the country. Okay, I'm sure there are enough stories for us to hear where people are actually pleading with the ward boys, or every time they have to plead with someone from the entry to the exit of an office. I've seen people who are forced to pay bribes so that they could get a certificate, a death certificate near the mortuary. So this is something, let us be clear, we've heard the word systematic corruption, but what we have to notice is that there is systematic insensitivity across the board. And, when the Telangana government is trying to play this as an aberration, I'm sorry, nobody is willing to buy into it. And so what if the person happens to be an alcoholic? He still deserves to be treated, right? A patient deserves to be treated with dignity at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what, Rajiv? And the story that this picture, this visual tells us is that this is the level of desperation that he was driven to. That he speaks to us about hoping and wanting to be able to walk someday. But he is so frustrated with this system that he thinks this is the best way to get the attention and to tell the people, I don't have money for a wheelchair. The reason I'm coming to this hospital where you failed to treat me for 5 months, but I still keep coming, is because I don't have the money to go anywhere else. And it is people like him in every city, viewers. And tonight we've got representatives of the Congress, of the TRS, of the BJP, viewers. Call in right now and give us your message to these netas. Because the government, the apathy in government hospitals, the corruption and the negligence has gone on for far too long, and it needs to stop. And Mr. Bhanu Prasad, you need to begin tonight by first acknowledging that this is a larger problem. Don't get into nitty-gritties of 1 case or 2 cases or 3 cases, sir, because we can come back with 30 more stories. Let's begin tonight by acknowledging that this is a challenge for your government, and your chief minister may be hoping tonight that all the gold that he offered in all these temples will perhaps miraculously ensure that governance happens by itself, but it won't. And your party and your government will have to do it, Mr. Bhanu Prasad.
If you want to have a debate on gold offerings, I am ready to debate on that. If you want to debate on the Chief Minister's house, I am ready to debate on that.
But it's the same point, isn't it, sir? It's the same point. It is the same point. If that is your priority and this isn't, that is the question. What is your priority? Is your priority bulletproof bathrooms? Is your priority luxury lands? Or is your priority precious life?
I do agree that there are certain lapses in the hospitals. All over India, there are certain lapses in government hospitals.
Yes.
But in last 2.5 years, our leader, Sri K. Chandrasekhar Rao Garu, has changed the scenario in Telangana.
Where you make beds available, where you make wheelchairs available, where you have oxygen cylinders which are available, but only when you pay commission.
With the hospital equipment.
Earlier, Mr. Bhanu Prasad, the situation was that no beds, perhaps.
We are upgrading.
Two callers with us. Let's. Shanti calling us from Abu Dhabi. Good evening, Shanti.
Oh, good evening, sir.
Go ahead, tell us.
I'm hearing to this toying with dignity and the way the politician is trying to defend himself. I'm really,
is it not a fact?
I feel what's happening in my country. I'm totally disturbed. I just don't understand why they don't understand, why these politicians are not understanding Aam Aadmi's dignity, the basic need. They fight one another. They only know to fight with one another. They know to scream at one another. But in the process, the Aam Aadmi is gone to dogs. Is this my country? Is this why these politicians are elected for?
Shanti, thank you for calling us. This is the question. The politicians on our panel are also listening to you, and this is the question they need to answer and their parties need to introspect on. But before we go across to them, Srinivas from Warangal on the phone line. Good evening, Srinivas.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Good evening. I am Dr. Srinivas Ramaka. I am a cardiologist from Warangal, Telangana state. What I would like to say, few points. The first thing is the anti-corruption line created by the Honorable CM of Telangana is a fake one. It doesn't respond to anything. There is no response from the anti-corruption line, particularly the Arogyasri Trust helpline. 2. There should not be any disparities as far as the hospital care is concerned. Though I am in private practice, the present government, this is not the first time, it is from time immemorial, this corruption is going on. So health disparities are being created by the government with a single example. From the clerk to the CM patient level who is dealing with the health care, clerks in the DMNH office, Director of Medical Education, Health Secretariat, Health Ministry, even in the
Dr.
CM
Srinivas.
with health, there is conflict of interest.
Yes,
Which should be totally
Dr. Srinivas, can you tell the government today, because we have somebody from the TRS with us on the panel, can you tell him whether or not have you seen your peers who actually work, who are supposed to be empaneled in government hospitals, engaging in private practice?
The first time when this government has come into existence, the TRS government, the health secretary gave a news in the Enadu paper asking for suggestions. I was the first one to give the suggestions to the health government. Though in private practice, my work is recognized internationally. I have given some suggestions which were not heeded by anything. I did not get any response. They were thrown into dustbin.
Okay, let's
So my allegation is not against a single person, it is against the system.
Absolutely. Yes, and we are also, Mr. Srinivas, Dr. Srinivas, highlighting this issue because we want this system to change. Thank you for raising those crucial issues. Let the TRS representative, Mr. Bhanu Prasad, respond to what you've raised. Go ahead, sir.
Mr. Srinivas, he said for the first time Telangana government has invited suggestions from doctors. This never happened in the combined.
And then they throw it into the dustbin also, he said.
But Telangana government
they threw it into the dustbin.
Very, very cautious, and they want to change the systems. Because of
Sir,
that,
the system is not going to change like this, Mr. Bhanu Prasad. Sir, when your DMO comes out and discredits the patient and reveals the patient details and makes it public, that itself is a violation which Dr. Bagai has highlighted. We understand how serious you are about changing the system, how serious the DMO is. Sir, that's the reality. Madhu Gaudiyaski, you are making a point. I have limited time on the debate. Advaita Kala also wanted to come in. Madhu Gaudiyaski and Advaita Kala. No, sir, Mr. Bhanu Prasad. This is a fact check and this is a reality check.
And we need
note the reality check, sir. Hear the people, look at the reality. We played out what your DMO did. You first launch an inquiry and action against the DMO for divulging private details and confidential details about the patient and trying to discredit the patient publicly. You first do that, and then we'll go back to what should be done about Gandhi Medical College.
Definitely, we will inquire into this subject, and we will take the action. We will definitely inquire into this subject. Whatever happened, we will definitely take.
Madhu Gaudiyaski.
We will not go back on
Madhu
that.
Gaudiyaski.
On any incident, if any.
We have seen what you have done. One suspension, 8 babies die, 1 person gets suspended. Here, 100 rupees being charged for wheelchair, nothing happens. 3-day probe they want to do, and then they come out and discredit within 3 hours the patient. We are seeing what's happening. Yes, Madhu Gaudiyaski.
The misplaced priorities of the KCR government is evident in the 2017-18 budget. In spite of the Nilofer incident, Gandhi and Usmania incidents, Chest Hospital incident, in 2017-18, they have allocated 0 to Gandhi and Usmania hospitals. The so-called inquiry is a sham. Mr. Bhanu Prasad was a MLC in the Congress government, the previous government of Andhra Pradesh. Isn't it a fact, Mr. Bhanu Prasad, you are learned MLC? Didn't we started Arogyasri 108, 104, all the services have launched. Today you join TRS party, that's fine. Let's have a political discussion here. Let's agree with the Times Now view. This is something concerned human life. Human rights violation here.
Yes, so let's have that apolitical discussion, Mr. Madhu Gaudiyaski. And in fact, since you are also here as a representative of your party, Mr. Madhu Gaudiyaski, between you and Bhanu Prasad and Dr. Aijaz, I would suggest tonight you just listen. Please just listen, because we've got viewers calling from across the country, sir. We've got, one minute, Bhanu Prasad, you can respond to him, but I would suggest tonight you all just listen, because viewers from across the country are calling us, and it's not just for one case. It is what is the reality of our country, and you need to hear from them and take in what they are telling you. Let's go across to Kaustav, who's calling us from Hyderabad, and Harias Nair also on the phone line from Trivandrum. But first to you, Kaustav. Go ahead, please.
Good evening. See, madam, my suggestion is that I don't want to complain to all politicians because they have all have the ego problem. My suggestion is that Medical Council of India should put an ad on the hospitals premises that any harassment to the patient, they should upload the picture and the patient name and complain directly to the Medical Council of India. So I request Mr. Prime Minister Modi, is doing a very good job, to establish a separate department which can help the poor citizens to get them directly to the medical council so that they can be benefited with this establishment, madam. Thank you.
Thank you for calling in. We got one more caller. Hari S. Nair calling us from Thiruvananthapuram. Yes, Mr. Nair.
Good evening. Good evening. In Kerala, the private practice has been banned since the last 10 years. And likewise, if a uniform policy is being followed by all the governments, or at least by the center, a proper rule is put in place so that private practice is banned and the corruption is viewed very seriously, then these things can be checked up to an extent.
Yes, we do. I'm not sure where we stand as far as banning private practice, but yes, addressing the issue of corruption, very, very critical. Addressing the issue of the common man, very, very critical. Mr. Nair, thank you for calling in. Limited time. Yes, Dr. Ijaz Almi, before I come to you, Dr. Bagai. Yes, Dr. Bagai.
Anand? Anand, if we as a community in healthcare learn to accept suboptimal results with isolated islands of mediocrity, we can never go for excellence. I think we need to maintain standards which are sustainable. These are examples which come up, and having said that, I can also say there are many good government hospitals in India, but these are examples which come up which should be corrected. I think patient's right must be respected. When a patient is coming in, the patient comes without an economical background. So we should treat a patient on medical background. Bribes and corruptions in any hospitals for that matter is inexcusable.
Sir, 20 rupees ka maang, 20 rupees. They charge you 20 rupees for a bed, for a wheelchair. 20 rupees. From there they deny you. The denial starts from 20 rupees.
This is
That's the reality. 20 rupees, sir. And the wife today says 50 rupees. Denied a wheelchair for 50 rupees. Which ward boy is that? Why haven't they pulled up that ward boy? And which CMO is that which is allowing this in a hospital? Why is that CMO still on duty, sir? These are questions we are asking. 8 babies die, 1 person gets suspended, and now a patient stands up, protests, uses a tricycle to try and show the plight, and that person is being discredited. I have to wind up way over time. Dr. Ilmi Advaita Kala, I'm sorry. Way over time. But this is a reality. Our viewers, thank you for calling in, and we'll continue to highlight the reality. Talk to you about the real issues and tell the politicians to stop talking and start acting. First, let's start with Hyderabad and Telangana. Thank you for joining us.